everybody, Fiber Spider back again in the kitchen. Here today it is Taco Tuesday and we are going to be making tortillas. Yes, and to make those tortillas, we've got ourselves masa. This is a masa harina corn flour and it is pretty darn easy to work with. Not to be confused with cornmeal or typical corn flour. No, this masa harina is specially processed so that all you have to do is add some water, a little bit of salt, and you've got some tortillas. You could also make pupusas with the same exact dough, which I absolutely love. This stuff is actually very reasonably priced. Got it at my grocery store. This whole bag for about $4 and change, and you get a lot of mileage, let me tell you. So, that being said, we are going to be making the dough. We're going to be making some tortillas. I think I might even make some pupusas as well, because it's the same dough. And yeah, let's go for it, shall we? Okay, let's get started. Hello again. All right, so I've got my ingredients ready to go, and let's get to it. Okay, so we have our masa. Going to need about 2 cups, roughly speaking. And this amount will make about 8 pupusas, or I would say maybe 12 to 16 tortillas, actually. Either or. So we got 1 cup. And 2 cups. Okay. Doesn't have to be exact. All right, and then a little bit of salt. Going to use about half of a teaspoon. There we are. Give this a quick mix with a fork, and then we start in with the water. Now, as far as the water goes, I am using just hot tap water. I've seen people do boiling water, some people use cold water. The temperature of the water, some people have, different schools of thought regarding that. Me, I use hot-ish tap water. And I'm gonna start off slow and build our way up. The thing is, the hydration of your dough is very, very important. When I was first making these, I wasn't using enough water, and my tortillas, well, they were very dry and very cracking. Then I found the trick. You want to have enough hydration so that when you roll out a ball and you go squoosh, it does not crack on the sides. Very, very important, because if you have a good hydration to your dough, the result is the hydration of the dough will create steam, and the steam will create little pockets, little bubbles in your tortillas, which is what we're going for because it produces a really great texture to your tortillas. So going to start off slow and going to work our way up. Now this is a 2 cup, so I'm going to start off with about 1 cup of water, and then if I need to add more, I can add more. It's a lot easier to add more water than adding more masa. So it's going to start off looking really, really, really dry. And as we keep working, the masa will start to soak up the water. Now, truth be told, I was filming this previously, and I added way too much water. Now, it held together, but it was pasty, and that is not what you want. You don't want a paste, you want a dough, but you don't want a dough that cracks. That's kind of like the sweet spot that you're going for, and that comes with some practice. Because also you have, various factors like humidity in the air, etc., etc. See, right now, this is extremely crumbly. We definitely need more water. So, best to go a little bit at a time and work your way up. so that it will hold together, but it's not pasty. That's kind of the trick. But, you know, like I said, it comes with some practice, a little bit of trial and error, and it's holding together, but it's still pretty dry. Also, one of the things about this dough is that since in the masa harina there is no gluten, you can't overwork this dough. With a regular all-purpose flour dough, oh yeah, you can totally overwork it, and then it becomes really, really, you know, firm, and it's hard to roll out if you are, say, making flour tortillas. This, you cannot overwork the dough. That being said, it's also a very fragile dough. So the thing is that it doesn't have any stretch to it, so it is very, very fragile before it is cooked. So something to keep in mind. Okay, still a bit too dry. Let's add a bit more water. And if you have kids, this is definitely kid-friendly and fun. Okay, we are getting there. You know, because what kid doesn't like to get his hands messy? Come on. Okay, it is coming together. It's still crumbly, but it is definitely getting there. I'm afraid to use the whole 2 cups, because that's what I did just previously, and yeah, it was too much. Okay, let's use a little bit more. Also, this masa will suck moisture out, and it does dry out if you are not careful. So when you are not using it, you do want to keep it covered. You know, I mean, when your dough is finished, you want to keep it covered so that it does not dry out. Okay. See, look at the difference. Absolutely incredible. Okay, now, at this stage, it might be ready, but we got to do the check. We have to do the little test here. I think it might be a little bit too dry still, so take a ball, about the size of a golf ball, roll it up, and do a slight smoosh. Okay, so you can see we do have some cracking on the side, which isn't major. However, I think we can do better. So, going to add a bit more water, and, well, we're going to go from there. Okay. So, going to add a little bit more. Not a lot. Don't want to go extreme. Just work it in. And then after this, I'm going to let my dough sit for about 10-15 minutes just to sort of hang out. Maybe I can prepare some tomatoes and onions and so forth. I already cooked some ground beef, so I have some filling for later. By the way, this feels incredible. The warm water, the soft texture, very, very nice. If you ever played with kinetic sand, this is even better. And you can eat it. Granted, I have read the packaging on Kinetic Sand. It is also gluten-free, but I don't think it's very nutritious. Okay, so where are we at? Let's take another ball. And squoosh. Definitely better. We only got a little crack over there. Definitely better. I think I would want to use just a little bit more. Just a little bit more water. Not too much, though. If I had a better microphone, we could do a little ASMR. Okay, I tell you, this is silky smooth and absolutely gorgeous. Okay. Bit of a ball test. Let's go for it. Ooh, no cracks. Look, Ma. No cracks. That is really good. Okay, so that being said, going to form it into a nice ball. See, the previous batch that I did, I could not put it into a ball. It was totally sticking to my hands. It was way too pasty. This, I think, is perfect for what we want to do. So right over here, I've got myself a damp towel. Just going to lay this on top so that it does not dry out. You could also use some plastic wrap. And I'm going to let this sit for about 10-15 minutes or so, and then we'll get cooking. Hello again. All right, so here I have my tortilla press, and I have 2 plastic bags that I cut open and laid out flat. You are going to need the plastic, trust me. I've used saran wrap, but it sticks to itself and it's really difficult to work with. Plastic bags are definitely the way to go. I've also used parchment paper, and that works out really nicely as well. So, got ourselves situated, going to get about a golf ball size of dough, roughly speaking. There we go. And just going to roll it up into a ball. There we are. Put it in the center, flatten it out just a little bit, and then put our plastic on top and press. And there you go. Perfectly flat, no cracks, absolutely gorgeous. So now I'm going to transfer this over to my frying pan, which I've already have heated. Slowly transfer it onto your hand, like so. Absolutely lovely. Gonna put this on my pan and let that sit for about 30 seconds before I flip it. So I'm gonna show you this aspect, and then I'm gonna show you another shot with the actual frying pan. So while that one's cooking, I'm gonna get another one ready. So it's about 30 seconds on each side, and you give it a press so that it can start to create little pockets of air. And press. And good to go for another one. All right, so I'm just going to keep doing this, and let's swap over to the stovetop. All right, so now I'm going to give you another angle. Just going to get my next tortilla ready. slowly peel back plastic and then just gracefully put that down there, and it's going to stay there for about 30 seconds or so. Then we flip it about another 30 seconds, and if I'm lucky, I'll get some of that nice poofy air bubble action. I'm not entirely sure that I have the exact right hydration because it's not poofing as much as I would like, but they're still going to be tasty, of that I am sure. So, that being said, let's flip. Then about another 30 seconds or so, and then flip again, and then do a little squeeze down, and see if we can get those air bubbles going. They're not entirely critical and crucial, but they do make for a better tortilla, to be perfectly frank. Ooh, we have some inflation. We do. Well, inflation in the good sense. Yeah, it's all poofy. Look, it's inflating. It's not a complete Mylar balloon effect, but there is some poofiness going on there. That is awesome sauce. I am delighted. So, I'm gonna let it sit on there for just a little bit longer. Do a quick flip. Oh, love these. Also, I have here a plate with a tea towel on top, and I like to keep my tortillas underneath the towel so that they can steam themselves. It's very, very important. That is crucial. You want to keep the heat and the steam inside, so just cover them up with a towel and keep them steaming amongst themselves. And then by the time we're finished with all this, they will be nice and soft and pliable and oh so good. So let's do another one so you can get a different angle as to what I'm doing here. So just balling that up, plopping it on top. Plastic on top of that, and press. Beautiful. Okay. Peel back my plastic. Nice and careful, because these are very, very fragile in this state. Okay, so about another 30 seconds. Get my next tortilla ready. Also, I think I'm just going to do this batch strictly as tortillas, and then if you guys are interested, I could do a video on how to make pupusas as well. Just as easy, just as tasty. Okay, this is ready to flip, I'm sure. Okay. Give it a good press. Give this a good press. Okay, next one is ready to go. So we got sort of like a little assembly line going here. As far as the pressing, you don't need a lot of force or a lot of effort. It's pretty simple in that regard. If you don't have a press, that's totally fine. You could just roll out your dough in between two sheets of plastic and then press down with a pot or a pie plate. Totally acceptable. Me, I like gadgets from time to time. What can I say? So I think this is ready to flip. Oops. And do some pressings. Oh, we have the inflation going on here. It's my favorite part. It's very, very gratifying. Oh, absolutely lovely. It's like magic. See, that's why you want a good hydration to your dough. Otherwise, it will not inflate. Trust me, I speak it from experience. First time that I made these, they were brittle, they were hard, they were not much fun. Even in spite of the fact that I was steaming them. Yeah, they did not work out very well the first time, and that's because I wasn't using enough water initially. So let's get this next one on. There we are. Get you on top of there. And so I'm going to keep doing this with the rest of my dough, and I will meet back up with you when we're all finished. See you in a bit. And now for my favorite part of these videos, the tasting. So I let my tortillas sit wrapped up nice and hot and steamy and all that good stuff. I went through the rest of my dough and I finished making all of my tortillas. I didn't even count them yet. We're about to. So the great unveiling. Check this out. We've got ourselves a nice stack. Yeah, we have a really nice stack going on here of tortillas. So, let's see, we've got 1, 2, actually, I'm going to take the first one for me. Yes. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, these are hot. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and 13. 13 is not bad. Granted, depending on how big you make them or how small you make them, that will, of course, come into play. So I'm going to leave these nice and wrapped up and cozy. And so nice and flexible, yes. Now, a word about leftover tortillas. They dry out and become brittle really fast, even if you wrap them up in plastic. I got some ground beef here. They do dry out, so what you're going to want to do is revive them. Now, I had tortillas in the fridge wrapped up in plastic wrap for about a day or two. And then to revive them, what I did was, because they were dry, okay, what I did was I then give them, I would give them a quick dip in water. I'd fill up a shallow bowl with water, give it a quick dip on both sides, then put that back into a frying pan, let it heat up, and then put that under a tea towel again to again facilitate the whole steaming process. And they came out perfect. So it works. And a little bit of cheese. The meat actually I made earlier because I knew I was going to be making these tortillas. Oh, I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. Got a little bit of hot sauce. This is the original Louisiana brand hot sauce. Not sponsored, but hey. I didn't feel like getting into doing even more stuff, cutting up veggies and whatnot. So I'm going plain and simple here. Nothing wrong with that. And I have a feeling this is going to get a wee bit messy. But that's half the fun, isn't it? Bon appetit! Mmm. 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 So good. So good. I have to have another bite. If you'll excuse me for just a second. Mmm. 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 So much better than what I've had at, say, Taco Bell. out of morbid curiosity, I went back to them to, you know, see if my feelings were correct. Yeah, it was a learning experience. It was awful. It was absolutely awful by comparison. Everything was wet and soggy and falling apart by the time I got home. And it was totally overpriced. It was very expensive. You know, I ended up spending $20 for a meal, one meal that I was very unsatisfied with. This, however, comparatively speaking, it's a lot cheaper because I only used 2 cups of that maseca. Okay, only 2 cups out of that whole bag. 13 some odd tortillas. Okay, and who knows how many more tortillas I could make out of that one bag for less than $4, you know, less than $5. The beef, okay, at least around here, for almost 2 pounds, it was about $7 and change. So if you take just the beef and the maseca, okay, it's a much better deal, okay? I mean, I'm not all about penny pinching and whatnot, but I am about being somewhat economical, especially when the taste is so much better. Yeah, it's fresh, you know exactly what's going into it, and you can do it yourself. And it doesn't take a lot of time or effort. You know, it takes a little bit of practice, not going to lie. Um, you know, just be sure, again, with the hydration level. You know, you want it to be wet enough so that it does not crack when you push down your ball and you flatten it out a bit. You don't want it cracking. You want enough moisture in there so that you do end up getting that nice steaming quality and get those little air bubbles in there. It's awesome sauce. And then if it's too dry, well, it is going to crack, it is going to be brittle, and no matter how long you leave it under a towel, excuse me, it is not going to be quite the same. So once you get that sweet spot with your hydration, you're good to go. You know, you are ready to rock. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, well, I'm not going to eat all of these tortillas, but I'm going to have my fill for the evening, wrap up the rest of them, and then I can enjoy more of them tomorrow. Again, all you have to do is, you know, give them, a little bit of water. You know, if they are from the same day, then I would say, you know, just give them, you know, like a misting, you know, just daub some water on them. If it's the next day, I would say, you know, give it a quick dip on both sides in a shallow dish of water, then back into the frying pan, and then, yes, let them steam afterwards. And they're as good as new, okay? And you can get away with that for a day or two, no problem. But they're so easy and quick to make, you could always just make more, you know? So that being said, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a blast. I get dinner out of the deal. It's a win-win. And like I said before, I really wanted to see how many of the tortillas I could get out of the 2 cups of masa. Now, that being said, if you guys are interested in me doing a follow-up video on how to make pupusas, I can do that too. Let me know. For those of you that don't know, a pupusa is sort of like a stuffed bread, if you will. Like, you know, picture sort of like a cross between a pancake and a hot pocket. Really not that difficult to make. I think I did a really good job my first run. In essence, I'll give you a quick lowdown. Get some dough, flatten it out into about a pancake, then put some fillings in, cover it up almost like a dumpling, flatten it out again, and cook that. It's really not that difficult. I mean, if I can do it, you guys can do it, trust me. But I could do that. Let me know what you think. And if you liked today's video, please give a little thumbs up button down below. You know that I appreciate your appreciation as always. And until next time, you know what to do, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay making fun, fabulous, tasty things. Share them with the ones you love and your friends and everybody. Stay safe, take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day. Tasty too. Bye-bye.